Very excited to talk to our next guest. This guy has the freshman receiving record, Leroy, in the University of Miami. Think about the receivers the Canes have had. This guy more as a freshman than anybody, and just like an absolute star right off the page. And he's pivoting now to something new in his career as he's starting up a marketing agency. He's the chairman of Legendary Sports All-Pro. Ahmmon Richards, thanks for the time, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, before we get to what you're doing, we had your former coach, Mark Richt, on. This is probably before last season. I got some sound for you. I need to know if you've ever heard this from him before, okay? Because he hit us with an analogy, a life lesson, if you will. And it definitely didn't sound like the first time he's ever used it, but I need to know if you've ever heard this in the locker room or even if you were in his office or whatnot.
It's so good to struggle. It's so good to overcome adversity. Right. It grows you as a human being. It grows you as a leader. And like you say, when it's just like that the butterfly, when it's a caterpillar and it's coming out of the cocoon, it's got to fight its way out. And if it doesn't fight its way out, the wings aren't strong enough to fly. So, you might have somebody want to cut open the cocoon and relieve the pain and, then and not go through the struggle, and all of a sudden you're not strong enough to fly.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I didn't hear that one before.
You never heard that one? Wow, we got some original stuff. There has to be a time, though, because coaches, they always try to go out of their way, whether it's your position coach or it's the head coach, go out of their way to be extra motivational. And it comes across like the wrong, like, wow, this guy is a clown.
Yeah, sometimes it could get a little, weird. I feel like all coaches, they try and motivate and use different, old sayings from back in, 19-something, but it could get a little weird sometimes, but, we take it with a grain of salt.
So tell us about you, man. You had an incredible start to your football career at UM. You had the unfortunate thing that happened with your neck where you weren't able to play anymore. And then you had this awesome news that came out last year when DJ declared for the draft, and they said that he was signing with your marketing agency that you're putting together, which is a cool story that you guys are staying tight like that as teammates. When did this all kind of unfold, this whole plan to do this in your career? When did you want to do this, and how did you bring it to your teammates to kind of hop on board and work with them?
Mm-hmm. So essentially, obviously, I was injured, so I had to my whole life was changed overnight, and I really had to figure out, what's my network, what do I know, who do I know, and how can I, utilize that, the best way possible. So after, probably a year and a half, because, obviously, I was down and out, really didn't want to go anywhere, really didn't want to be around anyone or just want to be left alone. After, a year and a half, I was just I want to start at an agency. So I didn't really know how. I didn't really know how to go about it. Obviously, I'm young. I really didn't know how to get started, right? So I was all right, marketing. I know athletes, always want free stuff or paid promotions, different kind of things. So I was that's one way to kind of get the ball rolling, to kind of help give back and, look out. How I look at it, I was I'm going to look out for my guys. I'm going to try and make them money off the field, try and get them free stuff and stuff like that. So that's where it all started mentally. And then we hired Faye, she's in the other room, to run the company, because she's been doing this for the last 15 years of just building businesses, help managing, stuff like that. So she got it in place, and, we just didn't look back. So now it's a full-blown company. We got 13 people or so. It's crazy. It's crazy, but I think it's kind of cool to see how I thought of this company and what I envisioned in my head, and it's growing into that slowly but surely.
I was always curious, when you get into something like this and you have, the first place you're going to go is to your boys, your guys who know you personally, because a lot of it is relationships and having the ability to know these guys, and they know, hey, I know Ahmmon's going to look out for me. I know he's going to have my best interest, so maybe I have a chance. Is this how you've basically started, with DJ and other guys on, on this roster that you played with.
Mhm.
And maybe if you get somebody there to say, look at what I did for him, then it's going to kind of grow from there. Or do you have other people, that have these relationships with other teams and other parts of the country or what have you?
Yeah, so obviously from playing, like I was kind of getting a little old now, feeling like an old guy or something. So a lot of these like younger guys under me either like watch me play or, so they kind of see me,
Right.
stuff like that, been following each other for a while. So they understood like, how hard I worked and what I've done. So I would say it's definitely relationships. It was mainly like my relationships that I have with these people, and they kind of take my word for it. They know that I'm really a good person. I really have people's best interests, and they know I would never try and do anything to get over on them. So that's like a step to kind of get through that athlete's door, because everyone has like that boundary up when it comes to like everyone says I can help you, I can do something. Everyone's like,
Right.
well, at what cost? Like, there's always something.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I have that, like I'm breaking through that barrier of like we had that close relationship already. So it's not as hard as I would say someone who didn't play or didn't know them just was like, hey, like we can do X and X for you,
Right.
How much what was the process like for your mom with dealing with it all, kind of you having to pivot because everybody was so excited about what your career was going to turn into, and then you have this shift that you have to make immediately? Like how, like, do you remember the time like it went from, I guess, feeling bad for yourself and feeling like, I'm sure like life's unfair at that point, to I now got to get myself out of this?
Yeah, so it took a while. Like I was saying, it took like a year and a half to really like start to like put it behind me. And I don't think it will ever be like fully like just put behind me. I don't think I ever just completely be like, forget football, like whatever. Because it's something I really wanted. It's something I worked all my life for. So that part's hard, but I look at it really what kind of helped me get through it. Just talking to my parents and stuff, and kind of just knowing that like bad stuff happen to people all the time, every day, right? So what makes my situation any different?
Right.
I feel like it's a part of the process, and it's not what happens to you, but it's really how you bounce back from it, because I could just be like, oh, forget all this, like I'm gonna go back to West Palm and just, do nothing, just feel sorry for myself. But it's like, no, like I'm gonna try and keep going. I'm gonna do something greater, so that's just my mindset. Thankfully, I'm blessed to be strong-minded. So I'm always just looking to try and be great, so.
What was harder, not being around football and not being around your boys?
Both. It was.
It kind of goes because, yeah.
Yeah, it's different when you're in the locker room and you
Right.
practice so hard. You guys pretty much die together. You get killed in the weight room.
Right.
Crazy Tuesday practices. All that stuff. It builds like this relationship and like this respect, and like I can't explain it. It's like this thing. I can't explain it, but that I'll say I miss that a lot. Just being around my guys, walking in the locker room, joking, clowning, having fun.
Yep. People don't realize how much time you spend together away from Saturday. Right? Like they only see you on Saturday, but you've been together like 30, 40 hours
a day
during that week, hanging out afterwards. Yeah.
Like we like after that, we together, like we do everything together. We work out together, eat, almost sleep, if you got a roommate, that's on the team. So, yeah, I'll say I definitely miss that a lot. That's definitely something huge.
Now, how much have you been, I guess, taking in all of Canes football? Because it's been a rocky ship the last couple of years, man. Like we've been, we came in very swaggering nipples a couple of years ago after, the run that they went on, beat Notre Dame and all that type of stuff. And people thought, Manny Diaz was just going to be like an easy transition on over. So like, what has that been like? Are you still a guy with where you're watching it now as a fan, very passionate because those are still your friends out there and all that type of stuff? Like, how have you taken all in what the Canes have been like the last few years?
I try not to act like a fan, because I know these guys personally. So like if someone like messes up on a play, I'll be like, that's my dog. So I'm not gonna say nothing, but hey, like, come on. So it's definitely fun. I say it's fun, but it's different. But hopefully, well, not hopefully, I know this year we're gonna be really good. So I'm excited to watch this year.
That's what I'm saying. Because I'm saying you got De'Ara King in here.
Mm-hmm.
Leroy doesn't like this idea because he thinks it's too many props. But I'm thinking instead of just the touchdown rings this year, he's the king. Touchdown crown. Touchdown crown.
Hey, man. Hey, you score a bunch of touchdowns. I don't care what you do. The problem is you can't be 2 seasons going 13-13 and have all these gadgets on the sidelines. It doesn't have as much of meaning because you're not winning games. That's all I'm saying.
I got you, because when we were undefeated 27,
right? Then it was awesome. Yes,
it was the best thing.
Yes,
ever,
Yes, but when you 6-7 and you score a touchdown, and then somebody go put the rings on or a turnover chain, it's like, come on, man, come on.
Nah, you're right. It definitely is like a little like even the players kind of be like, when they put it on and stuff, they're kind of like they
yeah. And you've been around coaches that would have took that crap away.
Yeah.
Like when it's not going well, but
Coach
like
Rick
Don,
I could see him like being like, give me the chains, man.
Yeah. But Miami, down here in Miami, not only do you go with the rings, you put diamonds on them.
Yes.
All right. So, like, I'm just saying, take it back a notch, get back to the basics, and then you can always bring it back.
Right.
This is a thing though. Like Leroy played at Michigan, which is they're like as prim and proper as it gets in college football. I like the fact that every year it's like Men in Black, mind erased, doesn't matter, swag cranked up to 100. There's like ice luges out in the tailgates. Like let's get crazy with it, and it doesn't matter. Like everything is erased, and you try and even crank it up even more. That's what I love about the Canes fan.
Yeah, no, Canes is just a different culture. It's just a different way of life, just a different lifestyle, different everything. Everything's done big here. I'll say that.
Except the wins, man. I want to see more wins. I'm in no position because we can't beat Ohio State. So I'm gonna keep it in line. But we ain't up there with we ain't up there talking a whole bunch of trash either. Okay, you got the turnover chain, you got the touchdown rings, but what about the Florida State backpack? Come on, dude.
That's not it.
Is that terrible? That's terrible.
But it's crazy. Why does every other school try and copy what we do? Like everyone's trying to get this turnover like object.
Right. I got you.
Shoulder pads, you got backpacks. I mean, I'm just saying,
it makes you
who created the swag,
Let me think. It makes you not want to stop, because if you stop, that means that that nonsense they put out there, they gonna forget about the OGs of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
So I can see it, but I want to see the Canes win, man. That's it.
Life is better when the Canes are winning.
Yes, of course. I don't mind trash talking, but you can't talk trash if you're not winning. That's my whole thing. Okay. That's it. You can talk as much trash as you want.
Woo. No, that's not. I don't got corona. Believe me.
That's all good. So that video you guys put out when DJ declared for the draft, that thing was cool. I like what you guys put together for that. What is like the thing you want to present to the world about your guys that you think is going to be a little bit different, or that you think you can bring from a new perspective when you go into this venture?
Really, we're just trying to capitalize off social media, because obviously right now is like a huge everything's done on social media.
Yeah, you're a Twitter savant.
So because everyone, that's where right now the world is like Twitter, Instagram, and a little bit of TikTok, obviously. But yeah, we're just trying to build the athlete's brand and kind of draw awareness and attention to that brand by using different creative ways, whether it's cool videos, like for instance, he declared for the draft, and creating something like that's different, and a little cinematic and stuff like that. So we just trying to go above and beyond and trying to be different as much as possible. Not the typical, like, post, the little letter I'm declaring, trying to be a little different, so.
Do you guys do you guys meet about this? Like how much does he have input onto that type of stuff, or how much do your clients have input onto that type of stuff, of what ideas you have that you're trying to frame in the right way for him?
So I know, me knowing DJ personally, I know he's like a very creative, he thinks outside the box, and I know he likes to do things different. He doesn't like to do the norm. So depends on each client. Some clients, they don't really want to do all the social media, video, and all that kind of stuff. And then you got some guys like DJ that's like creative. He gets it. So really DJ, he was like, yeah, like I think I should like write on like a letter, and then I was just like, we all got our inputs and our thoughts and put it together and just made it for him, and he loved it. And yeah, that was that.
Well, it came together good, man. Good luck with this thing, this legendary sports all-pro. He is the chairman, Ahmmon Richards. Really appreciate you giving us some time, man. Before we get you out of here, I see you're tweeting all the time about the NBA playoffs. Who you got in this thing? Who's coming out on top? Come on.
Bron James.
Oh, what? You think we
the king.
Hey, he's petty. Ahmmon, he's petty. He's petty because LeBron left. So,
I know.
But like athletes get over that, right? But not fans. He left my team. I spite him for life. So he can't pick LeBron. He will not pick LeBron.
Well, I mean, it's just like, look, I mean, you pick LeBron, that's fine. But what about the Heat are cranking right now. You got Goats lighting it up, Duncan Robinson stroking it. You got Goran and Jimmy buckets, and then of course we got Kemp Jordan, Bam Adebayo, who's unstoppable.
Yeah, no, I really do think the Heat are going to make a run to the finals. That's for sure. It's just, I want the Lakers, just me personally, for Bron's legacy. I feel like he cannot lose another playoff.
Yeah.
He has to win a championship this year.
Oh, so you're worried about the GOAT battles, like you want to still in the debates after all the Michael Jordan stuff that came out this summer.
Yes. Like I did too much trash talking for him to lose. He has to win the championship, or else I'm getting crucified on Twitter.
You can't talk trash down here about LeBron. It always goes bad. I'm a LeBron fan too, and I just want people to appreciate that you have a generational player playing a sport, and he played down here, and they look at it as, he left the Heat. I'm done with it.
Well, you just need to learn you just need to learn the ways of verbal jiu-jitsu, Ahmmon. Like, you just need to learn to pivot. if you get a take that's wrong, which, it doesn't happen to me a lot, but if it were to happen, you just need to find an out. That's all the way it's got to go. Like,
you did everything but go all Dan Gilbert on LeBron when he left here.
Well, listen, somebody had to because the Heat were being super classy about it, and he's ignoring Pat Riley on the in the meeting rooms, and it just had to be said. I can't believe you go back to Cleveland, that bum and Dan Gilbert.
2 words, Ahmmon. You know what people don't realize? Free agent. That means he could go anywhere. He don't owe you nothing. He gave you his service, 2 championships. And that's it. Say we had a nice run and move on. Nope.
Yeah, did it for Cleveland. Could only stand it for another 4 years and then get the hell out of there again.
That's when I knew all like Miami fans, like whether it's basketball or football, are some kind of insane. He won 2 championships and they still hate him. Like, hey, I'm just saying.
Here's what. You ready for some verbal jiu-jitsu? Here it goes again. I'll tell you how they do it. It's not that he left. It's how he left.
It's not he left. And really, listen, he came back and they gave him the standing ovation on Christmas and they did everything classy for him. But, you're sitting here, you can't win in Cleveland. You're running your head up against the wall. The Heat do everything right by you. And then you go, you know what? I'm going to go back to the bums over there in Cleveland. I'm sorry.
Win the championship for my hometown.
Oh, yeah. And then leave for L.A. Because the hometown means so much to me.
Mission accomplished. He won the championship for his home team.
That
means he can
leave.
leave.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Now, if he stayed in Miami, I think he would have won like a couple more championships, at least 4 to 5. If he would have just stayed the rest of his career.
Maybe he was ahead of the curve because D Wade, he was banged up, and then for some reason, out of the blue, Chris Bosh's blood stopped working, so it wouldn't have been the same team.
Yeah, you're right.
So maybe he was ahead of the curve, and he left before it got crazy. I'm just saying.
I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah. No, see, you can't. See, I can have this conversation with you,
He's
but
having-
I can't have the conversation with him because he just hate LeBron for leaving. He left Pat Riley hanging. I'm like, and?
Yeah.
Did
What
you
about
see the
when
game?
Pat Riley? What about when Pat Riley cut somebody or trade somebody, and he said he's gonna be a Heat lifer?
It's not nice. I was mad at Pat Riley for living for being cheap on Dwayne Wade. I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
Are
But
you over it? Are you over it?
well, Dwayne's over it. If Dwayne's over it, I'm
No, are you over it?
If Dwayne's- I'm over it.
See?
He says he's better than
Ahmmon,
Wade, I
every
get the
day.
blessing.
Every day.
Every day. You see him? Like,
That's
come
crazy.
on. See?
And
I try to get him,
Verbal
and every day.
You can't get me.
Yeah.
You can't get me. I'm like Hoist Gracie.
Wow, it's crazy. I've never seen it like this.
Yep.
No, every day, man. Every day. Wait, one time he said, whoo, Jimmy Butler's going somewhere else. We dodged the bullet. And then Jimmy Butler ended up on the Heat.
Yeah.
And he's like, I said may have dodged the bullet.
Yeah, we made.
That's what he does.
It's different. You got to leave yourself some wiggle room.
Right.
Remember
Just
that
to get out of there, just in case.
Remember that when you're dealing with the Twitter trolls.
Yeah, I know Twitter trolls, they're the best, but sometimes they don't come like full force. I like when you gotta bring it, because I'm prepared.
Well, look, man, good luck with everything. Thanks for spending some time with us. I think you're going to be this sounds like it's going to be really cool. So we appreciate it, man. We'll watch the journey, and hopefully this is a much better Kane season as well.
Yep.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank
man.
you. Thank you. Y'all be legendary.